I don't know if you noticed what I just saw in the player cam, but it looks like whichever player that is on the right, I believe that's RuskiNurd, is playing with 2 Joy-Cons in the Switch holder.
Oh, that's so great. That is so awesome. Yeah, Grimace.
Wi-Fi sham with the Joy-Cons playing Ness.
Oh my
You
goodness.
couldn't write better jokes if you tried, ladies and gentlemen.
Speak for yourself. Either way, Grimace, the purple DK. That is a pretty. That's a pretty good.
I give respect to that one too. I think we've got 2 players in front of us who are very dedicated to their craft already off the bat. 68, 70, now 80, and still counting percent done to Grimace, the McDonald's mascot. Well, he's going to try and find his inroads. He gets his up tilt up air, but not much else afterwards.
Yeah, this is in the same pool that contains people like Varun, Kin, and Red, and indeed Essence, the villager, who has since been knocked down 2 losers, but is going to be an up smash, courtesy of that yo-yo and the taunt. I think we know what comes next, but RuskiNurd right now trying to show out on ledge, getting bopped around by Grimace, and yeah, no, you really don't want to be messing around with an angry DK like that. I don't know how much the taunt really helps you there.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that every single time a new character comes out, Stu, you see the training mode combos done on DK, and, well, there's a very good reason for it. He has one of the biggest hitboxes in the entire game, and he's what we like to call combo food, and there's no character that likes eating combo food more than Ness, and he's going to be cleaning his plate off here in this set versus the DK. 103% already dealt, but actually managing to clank through the yo-yo to be able to get back on stage and chasing with the cargo up throw to get the back air and the stock. Now, though, 103% on the board. That does mean rage. That does mean he has the opportunity to take this out, but it's still going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah, Grimace, an individual from the state of Utah, taking on RuskiNurd. I believe originally from New York. It says UT. I'm so used to being down here. I kind of wonder if that's University of Texas, given the proximity to Austin. But nevertheless, proud member of the Ness gang, hanging on 2 stocks to 3, though very close to being matched up in terms of number of stocks, especially if Grimace is able to connect on one of those back airs, perhaps if RuskiNurd doesn't tech on the platform. That headbutt,
what?
Yeah, that headbutt sure did connect, didn't it, last?
So
it sure did.
I believe that what happened in that situation was that the side B, the PK fire coming out from RuskiNurd, extended the hitbox because Ness does that little thing where he throws his hand out alongside the fireball. And so as he gets the stock and the game there with that down smash, I believe what happened was DK also has a little bit of a disjoint on the head hitbox during that side B. So I think the combination of the extended hitbox on the hand plus the extended hitbox on the head combined to make what looked like should have been a miss connect. They got the stock, but weren't able to carry it too much farther. Grimace was immediately revenged upon, got that down smash at ledge, and took the stock out in the game. Now, moving into game number 2, we don't see any switch up from either player. Going to be running it right back to the DK versus Ness here on Pokemon Stadium 2, but we'll see if Grimace can make any alterations and make something different occur.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like such a weird matchup in general because you're just going to be carried.
Goodness.
The fact that Ness can hit 17 buttons off of one jump is just a little, just a little nutty. And yeah, you're having to play this game. You want to be able to counter hit, but you just never quite know when it's your turn if you are not familiar with this matchup.
Right, Ness is essentially a moving hitbox at most points in the game, and DK doesn't really have the tools, doesn't really have the disjoints that a lot of characters that beat Ness make use of. You see it with Lucina, you see it with Marth. In all of those situations, they use those big old disjointed swords to stay away from the moving hitbox that is Ness instead of actually trying to directly combat it, and that's where DK is really suffering, 117%, but tries to make use of that giant punch to take out the stock, does not do so successfully, however.
That felt a little ambitious, if I'm being completely honest.
But imagine if it hit.
Yeah. I mean, if it hit, yeah, no, I'm gonna. That if is about as big as Austin, Texas, if we're being completely honest. But going to keep winding up. I'm seeing a lot of buttons that simply cannot be acted upon. If you're Grimace, I don't know. It feels like it's a lot of guessing. Now playing Ness, it feels like a very specifically worded deal with the devil. Right, where you're just, yeah, you get to throw out all these buttons, but it comes with a price, and that certainly is that light body. And it's not because you lack kill power, you know, that you're losing these games. It's because you can just get absolutely messed up by a character like DK if you're not careful. RuskiNurd hasn't really been given a reason to be deterred from their original game plan.
Right.
And yeah, Grimace right now is kind of suffering the brunt end of it, even though, yeah, even half rage is pretty dangerous for
It
RuskiNurd
certainly
right now.
is the epitome of being a glass cannon, but, well, DK, he's also kind of a glass cannon, right? Because while he may be a lot heavier and he may have the ability to live slightly longer than most characters in terms of percent, he's actually a lot easier to kill than most other characters, and that's because he has that gigantic easy-to-combo hitbox. And speaking of easy-to-combo, a fantastic extension from the Psy Magnet by RuskiNurd, going to be able to get the grab back throw off stage, and this is going to be tough for Grimace to make it back, but instead, it's the mistake from RuskiNurd, goes for it all, and falls down.
A misfire from that glass cannon, like you were talking about, looking for anything off the ledge. Grimace, I mean, if you want to go ahead and poke the gorilla, you certainly can. There's more than enough gorillas to be seen here at the Kalahari Resort in Round Rock, Texas. There's certainly something to be said about that. But, man, RuskiNurd finding the one that they can beat up upon, and it's going to be that back air that catches the jump. Grimace is going to go down by a score of 2-0, putting up a fight and making those games perhaps a lot closer than they would seem given the gameplay that we just saw. But
right,
RuskiNurd showing, yeah, you know what? They know what you can do, but they know what your character can't do. So the process of elimination becomes very efficient at that point for a character that can throw out so many buttons and just make your life hell.
Yeah, and that final set of interactions that we saw right there to take the set was actually pretty indicative of how the rest of the games went. And it was that RuskiNurd got the setup using the back air. It sour spotted, but because it sour spotted, he recognized that a lot of players in disadvantage have the propensity to immediately burn the double jump as a sort of, they try and use it as a get-out-of-jail-free card, even though it doesn't work too often. More often than not, you are going to want to save that double jump, but RuskiNurd, recognizing that the propensity was there to use that double jump immediately, just drifted backwards, used that second back air, got the sweet spot on it, and took out the stock.